History Things podcast, a conversational approach to discussing social, industrial, maritime, music, and military history. Join us and our special guests as we dive down the rabbit holes of your favorite stories from the past. Follow the History Things podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or online at Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Be sure to leave a review and a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast app. Pat and Parker are coming right up. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy the show.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to the History Things podcast, a special edition episode for you here. This is our summer wrap-up. First time we're ever doing this. We figured this season on the show, post the Summer Blitz, the second half start on July 1st. We've had a lot going on. We've had grilling history. We've had big adventures. We've had a full archive play itself out, as well as we've started planning for next season. But before we get into our summer wrap-up, joining me, as always, is the ambassador for Maine. Ladies and gentlemen, Parker Russell. What's up, good man? Parker, you good, man? You all right? Parker! Dude, you good?
Huh?
Are you good?
Oh, hi.
Are you here?
Yeah.
Hey, you fell asleep.
Sure.
The intro's only
I'm not asleep.
The intro's only like 45 seconds.
Oh.
Are you all right?
I hit REM.
Are you?
Yeah. I've been traveling.
You've been traveling? Oh, that's right. You were on your trip.
Yeah.
So part of today's episode is we're going to be getting into Parker's Big Adventure. But before we get into Parker's Big Adventure, we've had an adventure of our own this season on the show. We got out of the podcast studio this summer. We got to go to
we did.
a bunch of our friends' houses. We got to go to really cool sites on battlefields. We got to broadcast across state lines through just a shared experience of grilling up meats and talking about history. Parker, tell us what grilling history was.
Grilling history was great. It was a lot of learning experience happening along the way. But it was a lot of great. We had great times grilling meats, telling stories of history. We learned a lot about all kinds of things from the atomic age. We had pirates.
That's right.
We had all kinds of stuff. Civil War. We had Gettysburg.
That's right. We were on the battlefield.
On the battlefield at Gettysburg. We were grilling meats, telling great stories.
That's right. So this year for Grilling History, we got things started with Parker. We hung out with Rich Condon. We hung out with Travis Shaw, a good friend of ours. We did a combined sort of time traveling experience because we wanted to do something a little unique. And so we used some 18th century means of things. And then we talked to our great friend, Sarah Morgan, who has switched some gears with cooking with the First Ladies. She'll still be doing that, but now you're going to find her on social media under Cooking with the Calutron Girls. So it was a really cool. We kind of went into this with we have an idea, concept. We know what we want to do, but how the hell do we do this? So, the concept was, when we're around all of our friends, we just talk about history, we tell stories, and it's why don't we just film this and share this experience? Because these experiences, what they do for me is they shed a lot of insight into the things that I need to have deeper understandings of, because we can have more conversation that isn't necessarily performative. It's very casual. It's we're standing around a grill and we can cut literally through the meat of it all.
Right.
Definitely pun intended there, to get to the heart of understanding. And so I learned a lot while I was also enjoying a lot of food. So you made one of the best burgers I've had in a long time. Rich made some really cool chicken and impossible meats, which I was very skeptical of. We'll talk about that in a minute. We had burnt ends and some really neat Old Bay cream cheese dip.
Oh, that was
oh my God, from Travis. And then we made some atomic chicken and a really dirty steak with Sarah Morgan. And then we time traveled and made a kind of cool fried chicken, roast chicken-y type thing. Back in the 18th century. So we had some ups and downs with this experience, though. It was.
Do we want to travel back to when we first met? Because this
no, that's too far back in the time machine. So
well, I was just gonna say that way back in the day, I was doing the stupidest project that was ever made.
Right.
Called Parker Meets History.
That's not stupid.
It was pretty dumb. It was some of the stupidest stuff that was ever filmed. There's very few little evidence left of it on the internet still to this day.
Right.
But it was something that it was just a project that you actually there was a lot of joking that was involved. It was really just a comedy.
Yeah.
It was like dumb comedy cooking.
Sure.
Nothing but meat puns.
Yep.
And so this is a project that
we put some spit and polish on it.
Yeah.
And then we realized it lined up with something we naturally do, which is that conversation thing.
Exactly. So really the only thing left of Parker Meets History of this is really just the theme song.
Well, that's one of my favorites. And so going into next season, we've actually updated it. We re-recorded it.
Yeah.
So it's got more of a relevant sound, a little bit better audio quality.
Yeah.
I'm on that recording too, because that original recording is just you. And
it shows.
To be fair, behind the scenes, be honest, how hard did I actually fight you?
You fought me pretty hard. You
about
wanted to
re-recording it, right?
You wanted to keep the original, but the thing is, I've learned so much more about recording in the almost 10 years since I recorded it. That we can do a better job. Which we did, and the version we recorded is awesome. I can't wait to share it with you. Here's the thing. You are right. The version we recorded is superior.
Well,
however,
as far as like just polish,
yes. However,
I loved the
original version was just having fun, and it was no pressure because it was just me and we were being done.
And that's why I wanted to hold on to it, because it was just a little piece of that old.
You were part of Parker Meets History.
I know, but now our listeners, though, they're going to get, because we're a serious show.
We're a serious show.
No
humor allowed.
No fun allowed. We're going back to our roots. Nothing's allowed to be fun on this show.
That's right.
No, we are, so we did. You fought really hard to get it updated because of all the things you've learned, and I fought that. But when we finally did it, I was happy we did it.
It sounds better.
It just sounds awesome. And
we always have the original one, and who knows, we may pull it out.
We reserve the rights. Parker owns the rights to the song legally, so we can do whatever we want.
Me and Jeb's do it.
One thing I don't want to do is talk about favorites, because I don't want to put any of our friends over each other.
I don't have a favorite,
but just let's talk about some of the things that I thought were cool. I've had burnt ends. Mm-hmm. Never had them made on a smoker that way. Those were delicious. Travis absolutely knocked that out. Mm-hmm. His cream cheese coated in Old Bay and then also put in the smoker. Amazing.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was the best dip.
And then we heard a story about a man who just faked it until he made it. And then he made it too far. I guess is the best way to describe him. So make sure you jump back and check out Travis's episode. Then we hung out with Rich, and Rich made us these really cool chicken kebabs. And then let's jump into Impossible Meats, because man, you want to talk about Parker off his game. You want to talk about Parker nervous, reeling, suspicious, not trusting anything in life. Catch Parker the moment after you tell him we're not actually grilling real meat.
Because if you're not going to be honest about the meat you're cooking, can I really trust you?
Right. And then you'll also get to see Parker will manifest all the stages of grief instantaneously at once. But when we finally got him to land the lunar module back here, actually, the Odyssey, I messed that up.
You messed that one up, man.
Yeah, the lunar module doesn't land.
I was going to say, why are you landing the lunar module on Earth? Did you burn up in the atmosphere?
It went really badly.
Oh, yeah.
We are all about new experiences here on this show, and we said we will check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. And
into the Hotel California?
I'll tell you what, Rich, I don't know that I'll eat Impossible Meats ever again, but what was made was delicious.
Yeah, he did a good job. He
definitely put a positive in the category.
He did not convert me.
No.
But he did a good job trying.
No, I did not get but what I'm saying is nothing detracted.
Yes.
I'm not less than I was. It's not like, oh, now I've tried it, now I know it sucks. Right. Those were actually pretty good.
No, objectively, it was great food. Objectively, it tasted great.
And Rich paired it with great Pittsburgh beer. We had Iron City brews, and those are so good. Yeah. So good.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the first time you'd ever seen a manual transmission grill before.
We'd never seen a manual transmission on a grill before.
You were like, what is that?
Did we have that? I don't think we put that.
Yeah,
the clips in there. Okay,
100%. Okay. The joke is in there as well.
Okay.
The thing about Rich that was cool is Rich lives on the first day's developed part of the battlefield at Gettysburg.
Yeah.
So in his backyard.
And you marched me to the Union Right, if I remember correctly.
In his backyard, we are standing on the battlefield. And we got to kind of go through a very famous story, a very tragic story. It was definitely the saddest of the stories we heard on Grilling History this year, which was obviously the death of Amos Humiston and the famous way that he sort of, became known through the discovery of the photograph of his children, the identification of who those children were, the connection to this fallen soldier, and also just kind of how the devolution of things on the first day's fighting and these small moments of strength as the Union Army is kind of gets to positioning itself back through the town onto Cemetery Ridge. Don't come at me, Getty's nerds. I don't care. And Culp's Hill, things like that. So
when you said devolution, this is how tired I am. I was like, is that when the devil shows up and pollutes something?
Hell yeah.
And I was like, oh, de-evolution.
Yeah,
devolution.
Devolution.
Got it. Okay. Good word.
I don't even know if I pronounced that right or not.
I have no idea. I have no idea either. But I was like, it took me. If you roll back that footage, if you see my eyes go, that's what was happening in my head. That was the expression on my face. Was,
oh, that's funny. So then I started my vacation. So that's when I went down. And we'll talk about a few things from my trip, because it was, by comparison to your huge adventure, mine was just a much needed vacation. It was much less adventuring.
My bicycle.
Mine was much less adventuring and more just like decompressing with my wife and our kids and just life. We went to see my folks, things like that. But I worked some history in. But but then when we kind of got back, we spent some time planning out how to time travel for a change. So we went back to 1757. We used the bake oven at work, and we made some chicken, and that was a really cool experience. And I've only ever made bread in that oven. It's purpose built for bread, so but it's an oven. You can make whatever in it.
It is an oven, and that was some delicious chicken.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'm going to tell you, I think that was one of the best chickens I've ever baked. I'll
tell you what I was really into: the bee shots, like those, like the close-ups of you cutting it, like. Those are some of the best shots on the show this season. It looks really good.
Yeah, it was a pretty good shot. But yeah, that was if you ever get a chance to cook a chicken, to bake a chicken in a brick or mud oven, basically.
It's a cob oven, oven.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to do it, you do it. And it's about, you get that fire good and hot, and you close that sucker up in there.
Yeah,
that's as good as crisp and juicy any day.
Don't even sell it. Just go watch the episode. It's actually our shortest episode. We did it kind of understanding that this is a vacation season, and we weren't necessarily going to be able to link up with all of our friends. So it was like, we'll do a short. It'll be kind of a fun short. So we time traveled. So definitely go check that out. You can watch all of the grilling histories, by the way, on our YouTube channel. They were exclusive to YouTube this year. So make sure that you can jump on there and check them out. But then we wanted to close out the summer.
Oh, yeah.
Not that we hadn't had heavyweights on the show already. How do you have Travis on and not call him a heavyweight? How do you have Rich on and not call him a heavyweight?
How do you have me on and not call me a heavyweight? Look at me.
Exactly, right? No. But, it was like, I wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm always looking for something that's a little just kind of unique and fun and something that I want. So, like, the whole little inside baseball, I run this entire show so that I'm having fun the entire time.
Right.
I'm having fun recording. I'm having fun editing. I'm having fun traveling.
I'm not.
Yeah, no, that's the difference.
I'm joking.
So what I wanted to do was do something in this project that was a little different than the other episodes.
Yeah.
Which we did with the time traveling. Right. And because, again, we were figuring out, we'll talk about some of the ups and downs here in a minute. And so we contacted our friend Sarah Morgan, who we had caught up with in the past to talk about Edith Wilson and sort of her role as First Lady during the Wilson administration and some of the foods that she was known for cooking. and things that were famous with Doughboys and the trenches at the time she was First Lady. It was great. But since then, she had switched gears to focusing on the girls at Oak Ridge in Tennessee or at Los Alamos. And
not the Oak Ridge Boys,
not the Oak Ridge Boys.
Girls.
And other parts of the Manhattan Project. So she's, again, now going under the Instagram and social media handle Cooking with the Calutron Girls. But we did an atomic chicken. So she brought us a recipe from a woman named Eleanor Schnapp, whose husband was at Oak Ridge. She was at Oak Ridge, and she's part of the 43 Club. So she's one of those OG folk that was there when they opened the Secret City there. And she kind of talked to us about what life was like for the women behind the fence, the recipes that they shared, the ways they kind of held the community together, the glue that they were, and sort of that stuff.
The biscuits?
Maybe not the biscuits, but definitely the glue that held the community together. We'll talk about biscuits, but don't give too much away because
I guess you want to watch it.
You definitely want to know about biscuits for Booty Call. That's all we're saying. But then there was, then we switched, in the same era, maybe a little later in the era, but to Ike, President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And because when we asked Sarah to be a part of this program, we had options. And she was like, we can do this chicken or we can do this steak. And once we heard about the steak, we were like,
let's do them both.
Why not both?
Yeah.
And so we got to learn about Ike's dirty steak and how he basically just chucks it on the charcoals.
Yeah.
So it was great to catch up with Sarah, who is out in Tennessee, who does not have a backyard that's nearby for us. So to do all this really cool coordinating and get her and just kind of create this really unique experience that I think everybody was excited to share. It was such a great time. So before we talk about the ups and downs of the experience, I just want to say thank you so much for supporting Grilling History. The amount of times we heard this summer how fun or unique it was that this project was sort of being launched and put forth. Like, it just felt really, really good. And thank you for that. So it was awesome to hear that, and I'm pretty sure we'll be back next season.
Yeah.
With another round of Grilling History. So
he likes teasing me with it.
So
you like teasing me with it. I could take it away at any time.
I'm a data-driven guy.
Give it, the pat taketh away.
If the data's there, it's there. But we learned a lot. So in our first episode, we learned that we had to be prepared for weather.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
because we got ready to go for you, and then,
my hair looked special.
And then the sky opened up, and then with Travis, we learned that we have to be mindful of how much we wander while we hang out, because I wandered out of frame the majority of Travis's episode. With Rich, we learned that we had to be mindful of what is in the atmosphere of our surroundings, because which, to be fair, our noise gate fought for its life and mostly won that battle. But I did have to put a disclaimer because we were so close to Rich Condon's HVAC unit that and it was 108 degrees that day.
We would never ask anyone to turn off their HVAC unit for any reason at all.
But if you want to know, if you want any proof that we were, like, if you think we were embellishing how hot it was when we say that it was legitimately north of 100, like before the heat index, Rich's air conditioning runs the entire episode.
Nonstop.
It never stops because it was that friggin' hot. So we learned atmospheric, and then we also learned that the sun beats down on the equipment, so we had to cover the cameras. So we learned a whole lot of that.
That was fun.
And then we actually didn't really have too many sort of learning experiences with the 18th century one.
Well, that was because we were back in time, and it was much simpler to run the machines back then.
Yeah. What is this device?
We did have to learn, like, I had to learn how to run the time machine.
That was fun. You did definitely mess up. Like I said, read the labels, and you were like, I've run a grill before, whatever. And dude, I got 10 steps away and you sent us back.
Yeah, that's,
like when we do end of year reviews, and I do employee reviews.
It's probably going to be.
We're going to talk about that.
That's probably going to be on my old.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, shoot.
Yeah, you're going to get a performance plan over that one. Maybe.
Well, hey, we made it back.
We did make it back.
I got you back.
And we didn't even put that one in the episode, how we got back, because I don't know that I'm ready to share the odyssey of returning.
I'm not sure if I'm ready to talk about it.
Right. So we're going to move on from that.
I did some things.
And then we learned.
You did some things.
Yeah, but you did things for love of the game. I did them for the desperation of getting home. So there's a difference between you and me. But we had a great time then with Sarah, because broadcasting between states was not an easy feat, because we're cooking two very different chicken and steak. They very different operations procedures. We were cooking them through a digital signal, with Sarah being in one state and us being in another, right? It takes time for the words we say to manifest through her speakers, so we had to navigate lag a good bit.
Right.
And then just being mindful of the audio, like when we're moving away from microphones and things like that. So it was really fun to kind of, with every episode, be simultaneously really, really happy with them, and also
also have a giant technological issue.
Yeah,
with
like I have like an anxiety attack the day after filming because we've discovered one of these major issues, and then again,
it works out.
I love the production of this show, so once I get past the initial like, oh my god, the thing is so loud, or oh my god, I walked off the camera like an idiot, it was like, oh, now I get to have the fun trying to figure out how to fix it. And I can tell you, I had fun fixing it all. I couldn't fix the Travis when I walked out of the frame.
I mean, the only thing we
shot.
could have done is just like said, "Hey AI, can you make Pat just like stay here
in the picture
and just like green screen him for an hour, just standing in the screen like that?" That's the only thing you could have done. But I think we're glad we didn't.
We didn't. That's
I
right.
think we're glad that we didn't.
Yes.
But we've learned a lot technologically. I think we've learned a lot,
and we used unique cooking methods. So we used your Traeger, we used a smoker, we used a charcoal grill, we used a propane cob oven, and a propane grill situation. So it was like, and that happened accidentally. That wasn't something we planned on.
Yeah,
it was just
that was complete serendipity.
Every
that was
time
just
we
something
booked,
that just absolutely happened.
Yeah, every time we booked an episode to do, it was like it just happened to be in a different method of cooking.
Yeah,
which I think we're going to try to run with that for as long as possible. We're not going to.
We're almost out of options.
I know. We're not going to die on that hill.
Yeah, no.
I mean, but what if you're like somebody's like, I cook a chicken with a magnifying glass?
Well, then that's going to be a long episode.
I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. Well, through the power of editing, everything's short, right?
Not for us.
No, that's right.
I mean, are we going to camp out for like 3-4 days at this guy's house?
You're right.
Cooks that chicken. The chicken's going to like mold. It's going to like.
It's our next episode of Grilling History starts with the birth of the pig, and then it has to grow up, and then go through the slaughter. Well, yeah, we didn't do a lot of pork this. In fact,
we actually did. Did we do pork? No,
yeah, we did the burnt
burn
ends. Yeah, we did the burnt ends, and they were so good.
Yeah,
like so good. Like Travis, like honestly, like, sup, bro? You want to like hook up some more bird ends and send them to the podcast studio here?
Yeah, I'm down.
Oh, so yummy. So we moved on from Grilling History. We didn't move on, but as we worked on Grilling History and kind of navigated the rest of our summer, one of the cooler and more bittersweet things here on the show was the release of the final Matt Borders Archives episode. So for the final 3 times, for the foreseeable future, Matt Borders' voices graced our airwaves. We had episodes with Kyle Dalton, Jess Rowley, and Travis Shaw, where we covered the American Revolution. We covered a poisoning in Spanish California, the Emancipation Proclamation. Incredibly awesome and substantive conversations. I was really excited to share with everyone. It took us some time to figure out how to sort of do that with the fact that we were turning into a new world with you, Parker. We had a lot of stuff on our plate. So it was like, how do we sort of keep these episodes or release them in a way that jives with what we're doing now? And so it was kind of cool just to kind of plug them in these relevant places.
And it was great.
And it was like, it was neat, because it was kind of like, it's just something familiar again.
Yeah, it was great. It was great hearing Matt again.
So now the goal will be to get him back as a guest soon.
Yeah.
I can tell you that having spoke to him recently, life is no less slow for anybody.
Yeah.
Everything is, and you can even argue a lot faster. And things like that. So anyway, it was just kind of bittersweet to do that, and I was happy to get these episodes queued up and shared. And then Parker.
Yes.
Parker, you took a huge trip. Where did you get that outfit? Like, what the hell just happened here? Like, Parker, what the hell's going on? You're starting to make me... You're dressed like the people that make me nervous right now.
What's so funny?
I mean, suddenly the power flickered and you are now, like, Cowboy Bebop there. Like, what's going on with this shirt there, bud? Parker, what the hell's going on? I'm very confused right now.
My name's Jebediah Wrestling.
Jebediah?
Just came back from living, driving.
What? Living and driving?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
America.
Are you going to talk about that? Were you on the trip? I've never heard of you before, Jebediah.
Life is the trip. I'm just part of the journey.
That makes no sense. So Jebediah, I guess tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from around these parts?
I'm from everywhere. From America.
From America? Okay. Are you,
The good parts.
what are the bad parts?
Not America.
What does that mean? Starting to sound like the people that make me nervous now.
You see, Pat, I'm a traveler.
Oh, that's what I asked. Okay.
I go far away from the cities.
All right.
Spend most of my time out in the plains.
All right. In the plains. The high plains or the low plains?
High plains.
High plains.
Also the low plains.
Also the low plains.
Anytime you see a herd of cattle, that's me.
A bunch of cows?
Anytime you see a bald eagle flying high above the prairie, I'm there. Anytime you see a buffalo walking by himself up a mountain, I'm there too. I'm America.
Are you a Chevy truck commercial?
That's right.
Like a rock.
That's what they tell me.
I'm confused right now. Jebediah, how did you time swap in for Parker so fast? Like, what just happened with that? Oh my God!
Yeah,
like the power flickered and like your whole outfit changed, and then
that's
suddenly
because
this,
I'm
like,
American now.
This dude was just talking to me about America and being traveling, and
That's
like
because
I was scared.
That's because America is
I thought we were gonna have to talk about your big adventure with like a cowboy who drives an 18-wheeler.
Well, I mean, what not?
That's right. True.
That's America. That's how America moves.
That is literally one of the ways America moves. So, Jebediah Parker Russell, it's good to have you back, man. The summer, as we've been talking about, has been busy with stuff, and at one point, we took breaks. We stopped doing our careers. We took our families on adventures, and while mine was very humble, yours was huge. I basically couldn't think of anything more clever than to rip off Pee Wee Herman, and this is Parker's big adventure. So tell our listeners sort of like the nuts and bolts of it. How many days, how many states, how many sites?
We were about, I want to say a little over 4,000 miles.
Holy sh!
In about 9 days, we laid down some rubber. America. Why don't you go ahead and ask me,
Jebediah.
Well, go ahead and ask me where I went.
Where'd you go?
America.
Jebediah. Where specifically in America did you go?
All of it.
Oh, here we go.
Why don't you go ahead and ask me what it looked like?
What did it look like?
America.
God damn it. What does America look like?
You know it when you see it.
I feel like that's true, weirdly.
It's yeah. So a brief backstory. I don't know. I think I've probably mentioned this before. My dad's a truck driver, and when I was a kid, I'd go on the road with him quite a bit, and I got the opportunity to see like a lot of stuff as a kid. But I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm not a kid anymore.
No, you are old, bro.
I'm an old man.
It is well established ground that you have an affinity for Lincoln Town cars, unironically.
Yeah, and it's
like
good ground.
Love them.
And I don't retract that. I don't retract that, by the way. Lincoln Town car.
We know.
The Ford Panther platform.
We know.
Best car ever made. Right.
You
there.
were so you're an old guy now.
So I'm an old guy now, and I hadn't been out west in nigh on 30 years, maybe more in some parts.
Wow.
And I grew up with it, and I loved it. And ever since I had kids, I was always like
depressed.
No,
That's a joke.
Wow. But ever since I had kids, I was like, one of these days I'm gonna take them out there. But of course, when you're babies, you don't want to be driving around to these places which are kind of remote. There's a lot of travel time between there. You don't want to have a bunch of babies who need diapers changed every like 5 seconds.
Right, and then like a bear kidnaps your baby.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want that to happen.
Thinks
and
it's
then
a picnic basket.
And then they get a little older, right? But you don't want them too young, so you want them to remember the things that they see. And then, of course, for a while I lived in Maine, which automatically would take another day and a half onto any sort of trip you were going to do overland.
Right.
And then, of course, you move to Maryland like you do, like everyone does.
Because you want something better in life.
Yeah. Yeah, and I always wanted to take the kids out there and stuff. But, of course, now you move to Maryland, right? Or I moved to Maryland. And I was like, yeah, one of these days I'll take them out. I'll take a trip, and I'll take them some of these places. Well, suddenly it's like, 15 summers later, and these guys are starting to mature and grow up, and it's not going to be too long before you're not going to have.
They're not going to be kids anymore.
They're not going to be kids anymore. They're going to be off doing their own thing and living their life and stuff like that, and that's cool. But at a certain point, you don't want to be living in a van for like a week or so
down by the river.
Yeah, with your old man.
Like Matt
you know what I
Foley.
mean? Like, right, exactly. We decided to just make a break for it, and make a big trip, and I'm very happy. We literally did see a lot of America.
That's awesome, man.
At this point, because I do like traveling, and I think that visiting, getting outside of your normal surroundings, your normal environs, and just expanding that, I think that travel is important.
Sure.
And we've got a huge country, right? It's a huge tracts of land.
Sure.
We've got a lot of places to see. And
so where'd you go? So let's start like day one, from home base to where?
Home base to Chicago first day.
All right.
And we stayed the night just outside of Chicago.
How
We
was
at
it
the
in
Rainforest
Chicago?
Cafe, which is
Everything was fine in Chicago.
everything seemed fine in Chicago.
Everything seemed totally fine in Chicago.
Everything seemed totally fine in Chicago.
All right. So you went from Chicago. Did you do exploring in Chicago? I know you went to Rainforest.
No, I don't explore that town.
By the way,
No, but we walked around the mall. We went to the Rainforest Cafe. We stayed in a perfectly fine hotel room, and everything was totally fine.
Yeah, so this show is unofficially sponsored by the Rainforest Cafe, because when Parker mentioned he was going there, I was like, that was a moment of discovery for me. I was like, I too love the Rainforest Cafe.
It is my favorite restaurant.
And the one they closed in
and
Northern Virginia. Man, still miss you all the time.
Yep.
Were you down here in Maryland when the one in Nova still existed?
I want to say that the one in Nova existed when the first time that Dawn brought me down here.
All right.
Yeah,
Anyway.
hey, Rainforest Cafe, bro.
Yeah, come back.
Come back.
Come back. Like 2 patrons here. Like we will buy.
Like we'll be there. I'll be dressed like this.
Sponsor the show.
And
you can't miss him. You
I'll
can't
be
miss
dressed like
Jebediah
this.
Russell.
I'll be dressed like that. I'll be right there. Every time that elephant screams, I'll be like, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love the Rainforest Cafe. And Chicago seemed, again, totally fine.
Cool, man.
And we drove through the next day. We got up pretty early. We drove through Wisconsin.
Okay.
Drove to Minnesota.
A lot of lakes up there. Apparently 10,000 of them or so.
I've heard.
Yeah, Lando Lakes.
I've heard. Yes.
I don't know if that's where Lando Lakes actually headquartered. Probably not.
I don't know, but that's funny.
It worked. So
Anyway.
are you just going like are you stopping at sites like in Chicago? Did you go anywhere?
We other than the Rainforest Cafe,
That's
no.
just kind of like an overnight to get out there.
We want to get west.
All right.
Because that's where most of our stuff is. Along the way, though, in Minnesota, we did stop at something that I saw, and I was like, nah, I'm probably not going to have time to stop, but we did, and that was the Spam Museum.
The Spam Museum?
Spam Museum. It is... You got to go there if you're in the area or if you're driving through. It is absolutely really cool.
Is there a Monty Python reference in the museum?
Yes.
That's all I need to know.
They do spam. They do. They have a whole Spam-a-lot thing.
Not even just that, but what do you mean, you don't like spam? That whole bit they had?
I don't know about that one, but I did see a lot of Spam-a-lot.
Okay, that's it's all good.
And there's
Wonderful.
also in the museum, they mentioned Limestone, Maine, which I was like, I'm not really sure what the connection is, but I
saw the word Maine, and so I'm in.
Yeah, it could have. Yeah, I mean, it might have been.
Did you like instantly transform into Jebediah there and like tip your cap?
This slowly acquired. I slowly acquired this.
Okay, I knew going on this trip before you left that cowboy boots were in your future. Which there they are. Look at those shit kickers.
There they are.
Hell yeah, Parker.
That's right.
But I knew those were going to come back because you explicitly said you were tracking down a pair of those.
I used to wear cowboy boots all the time when I was a younger man, and it's been years now.
You were really cool.
And they're back now, and my feet feel naturally comfortable in them because I don't know why, but
do you feel like Patrick Swayze and just like Roadhouse, just like ready to roundhouse kick somebody?
Yeah.
So how early into your trip did you get those before Spam or after Spam?
I actually looked. These actually were like one of the last days on the trip that I actually got, because I was shopping around.
Oh, okay.
And I kept finding things in places, and I actually got these in Indiana.
You wanted boots that speak to your soul.
Yeah, I tried on a bunch, and these were like, they're all
right. So
neutral color.
Before we move on from Spam, did you learn anything interesting about Spam?
I was just reminded about like the World War II connection with Spam,
Sure.
and how like basically it's cool how an army runs on its stomach no matter which which generation you're talking about, no matter which.
And what goes
century.
in those stomachs.
And I think you'll appreciate this. I was partially getting in my head and I love Civil War history, but I was also like looking forward to seeing some history stuff that wasn't Civil War.
Yes.
And then I go out west and I see names like Sheridan, Sherman,
but in their next career,
Grant, Gibbon,
Crook, right,
Custer,
right.
So it's like, those guys. I mean, and of course, most of the people who watch the show know this, but after the Civil War ended, they didn't just evaporate. Like they didn't just translate into thin air. They
go to the plains and they fight the Indians.
Great Plains, High Plains, High Desert, all that stuff.
You're so used to this one context of these guys, and it's like, oh, here they are, but in a completely different world.
Yeah.
Did you go from Spam to?
So Minnesota was Spam. Oh, actually, I want to talk about this for a minute. We spent that next night in our van. It's a Honda Odyssey, and we've named him Homer because that's just. Why wouldn't we, right?
Right.
And
that's on the nose.
Yeah, and so we spent the night in Homer, and we spent the night in a town called Chamberlain, South Dakota.
Oh no, not for Chamberlain.
I don't know if it was named for him or not, but we spent the night in Chamberlain, South Dakota. I'm not sure.
I'm looking it up right now.
So this rest area was really cool because it was a Lewis and Clark stopping point. And there's this huge Sacagawea statue.
Like now, really big?
It's several stories high, I would say. And the thing about it is that's interesting is as I got to stop here for the more discerning listener. Yes, I know there are several different pronunciations of Sacagawea.
Can I break in?
Yeah.
Thank God it's not named after Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain. Chamberlain, South Dakota is named after Selah Chamberlain, a railroad director of the Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul Railway.
America.
Thank God.
So, there was no one there screaming bayonets and having us charge down the hill.
It was probably relatively safe there.
It was actually pretty cool, yeah. This statue is incredible. It was right there on the Missouri River. Saw the stars, which is something that in my part of Maryland, we canceled our subscription to star viewing like a long time ago.
Oh yeah, light pollution. I thought you were like talking about like Stars, the TV package, and I was like,
no.
Like, why? I was like, I don't understand the relevancy, but yeah, light pollution where you live for sure.
Yeah, like we were able to like do like some like star photography and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you see the Milky Way on this trip?
I think so. Yeah.
Very
especially
cool.
with the camera with the like a long exposure, we could actually get a little bit of it. I mean, we're not grade A photographers. We're not going to be winning any.
But you're out there trying.
Purled surprise. Yeah, but you never know until you take that picture,
sure,
right?
Man.
So me and the boys were both living it up with cameras out there.
That's so cool.
And
did you feel far away?
Yeah, but no, like one thing that kept popping in my head, especially when we were in Minnesota on that day, it clicked into me when you're going into those plains and there's like not much of anything around, you know, in the western Minnesota into South Dakota.
Yep. Any adverse weather?
Not until
notably adverse weather, not just there was a thunderstorm or rain.
Not yet.
Did you encounter any tornadoes?
Not
wild
a tornado.
Thunder squalls?
No, we got all of the rain on the second day of Yellowstone.
Okay.
So we woke up in the morning there in Chamberlain. We went to a place called Waldrug, which if you're listening to us out there in the interwebs, you probably in the Midwest, you probably have heard of Waldrug. It is touristy type of trap thing, but I'll tell you what, it's actually a lot of fun. And if you're out on a road trip, go ahead and indulge yourself.
I don't mind being a tourist. The people that get on tourists,
look at me.
To me,
I mean,
that's a waste of energy and time.
Yeah, no, dude, you're out there.
Tourists fund your economy, and people are having fun.
Yeah, just go and enjoy yourself.
Just have a great time.
It was fun. We got back in the car and we were like, where do you think our next stop was? If we're in South Dakota and we're traveling westbound, what do you think on I-90? What do you think?
Stolen, desecrated land.
That's right. All of the stolen, desecrated land is what we were looking for.
The Black Hills specifically. Mount Rushmore.
Yep. And
which is both cool and I feel like anticlimactic at the same time.
Yeah.
I feel like when you see it, you're like, well, that's awesome. And then you're like, well, that's it. I've seen it.
Well, so before we got to the stolen land, well, I guess all of it's stolen land, right? We decided we needed showers.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
you're probably
we
stanky.
if you're out there, if you're living that van life, or you're just like, you know, if you need a good place, Love's Travel Stops, man.
Yeah.
I've seen every Love's Travel Stop there is along I-90 and I-80. I've seen every one of them, I think, at this point.
Were you doing the showers in the roadside showers?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We did one or two
Your
of those
old
along the way.
trucker experience coming out?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, great showers at Love's.
Yeah?
Great showers at Love's. Great. If you get that app, it's 13 cents a gallon off your gas if you have AAA.
Did you wear your shower shoes, though?
I did wear my shower shoes.
Thank God.
Yeah, I'm not.
God. You're not a monster. Sorry. Holy God, here he comes. Jebediah.
You don't wear shower shoes. Are you even American?
No, but you'd be a fool if you went barefoot in a Love shower.
Yeah. But no, seriously, Love's Travel Stops, man. Great way to go.
Rad. That's cool. That's a cool travel hack, man.
Good way. So we took our showers, and then we got to our first.
Rushmore.
Yeah, we got to Mount Rushmore, and Mount Rushmore was actually the first thing that got us thinking about going on the Strip, because when I was a kid, I'd gone there. I was 12, and it was about 102 degrees. And I'm going to tell you, I hated it. It was the worst experience of my life. I absolutely hated it.
Sure.
It was. I don't know, the worst experience. That's
no,
really,
but like being outside in that temperature sucks.
But yeah, you can just walk down. They have the little hallway of flags, and you can just walk out, and you can see the mountain, and it's huge, by the way. The pictures, if you haven't seen it in real life, go get it and see it before it's gone.
Well, I'm not going to get rid of it. I mean, not in this administration. They're not going to get rid of it.
See things while they're still here.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And while you still have access to them, you know. So from
Rushmore to
Rushmore to Devil's Tower.
Oh, nice.
Which was an add-on.
Yes.
That was an add-on. We weren't originally going to go there, but we had time, and we were making great time, and we still had the entire day.
As soon as I saw those pictures on my phone, I knew exactly what that was. The little alien nerd in me was like, oh my God, you made it to one of the core sites.
Yeah. Devil's Tower, and that, I'll tell you, that was an amazing sight.
So for those who weren't catching my reference, Devil's Tower is the main geographical landmark that they're all drawn to in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the very pioneering.
You said Maine, by the way. You have to put $1 in the jar.
No, I didn't reference the state. That's when you do that. But no, this is like one of these amazing pioneering films that Steven Spielberg put out in the 1970s. And so like a site I want to go to in life, Parker suddenly on my phone is like, hey, I'm just casually here.
Yeah, and they have a little dude and a little alien guy dressed in a T-shirt there. It's actually kind of funny.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, we I think Devil's Tower might be the most beautiful spot I've ever stood in.
Yeah.
If you haven't been, it's another one of those places you've got to go. Because
what's the short legend of Devil's Tower?
Short version of the legend is that the natives were being terrorized by a bear, and the bear was attacking, and the earth rose up, and the people lived on top of the tower. And meanwhile, this giant bear was trying to climb up and kept falling down, and that's the reason why you have those scratches. You see
the striations, yeah.
That's cool. It's beautiful, and as a result, they worshipped the rock.
That's cool.
As part of their,
it's like a sacred place.
As a sacred place, and the pictures that you've seen of it, there's not a picture that you've seen, there's not a video that you've seen that has done it justice.
I feel like it's huge.
It's bigger than huge. Like it from we were about 18 miles away when we got our first look at it. And it dominated from there. And we were, I'll never forget, one of the things about the Strip is the sound that we all made.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like,
wow.
What is that? And it's so big. Like it's you can't see it all. You know what I mean? Like
the closer you get, the less of it you can see.
Exactly.
The wildlife on this just part of the journey starts to be incredible. This is where I started to get those videos of like the was it caribou or the elk or whatever was out in the fields.
That was the elk, yeah.
And then like something walking right alongside the car.
That was in Yellowstone.
Okay.
So we there's a little prairie dog town that's right at the foot of Devil's Tower.
Yeah.
And we got tons of video of them, and I want to adopt like a couple of them.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a great idea, though.
No, probably not.
I don't advocate for it, but they're so cute.
Don't adopt a prairie dog, and if you're prairie dogging, I wish you luck.
Yeah, right. Go to a Love's. Get to a Love's as fast as you can.
All right, so we got to move through these places because we got a lot packed into this show's Jebediah. So we've been to Mount Rushmore. We've been to the Devil's Tower, which, man, we'll talk some more about that down the road because I want to go there and it's connected to some stuff coming up. So from Devil's Tower to...
Devil's Tower, we stayed the night in, I want to say, Sheridan, Wyoming, and Love's. Right. And then we got up and we drove up to Little Bighorn.
Nice.
Yeah. Been wanting to go back there for a long time. And got to Little Bighorn, and we had a Wally World situation on our hands.
Yes. We are encountering lots of our modern world in this trip, I'm sure. Yep. So without the rage, obviously...
I don't have any rage left.
A lot of our national park sites are struggling immensely. A lot of our friends and colleagues are under... an undue amount of duress and pressure and stress and a lot of things that... Honestly, if you don't know how I feel about that, then you're just missing it in the dark. So,
so they closed it.
So they closed it, or at least significant access to it. Yeah. It's probably a great question to ask Jim Hessler, guest of the show from this season, because not only did we cover that with him, but he does go out there, and he was out there recently conducting a tour.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll get back in touch with him. Yeah, so kind of a bummer, though, having the Wally World experience.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the sign, and I'm just going to tell you, dude.
Did you punch a moose?
No, I didn't punch a moose, but I'll tell you what, I was about ready to drive right around that goddamn close.
Follow the rules. Follow the rules. So aside from that experience, what did you do with them while you were out there? Did you just leave? Or
we had to go. There's not much else to do, and we went to Pompey's Pillar, and Pompey's Pillar was actually great. You know what? The visitor center's closed, but the road's open. So you go in and you park and you walk down and you can actually. This is actually beautiful. There's this. Like pillar, like a stone pillar that's just a natural formation. You can see it's so cool where you can see where William Clark, that's the draw of Pompey's Pillar, is William Clark of Lewis and Clark. This is the only, as far as I know, as far as we can tell, this is the only physical evidence that remains of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Like we have their journals, we have their writings. But this is the only physical, as far as I know,
out on the actual journey.
Yes, this is the actual only evidence we have that they were ever there.
I was like, because Harper's Ferry has.
We're talking about like outside of like on the land they were exploring. Like they weren't exploring Harper's Ferry. I'm talking about like on the Lewis and Clark Trail.
Yeah, but on the actual like core of discovery.
Yeah. This is like he signed it. He like carved his name into the rock, and it's kind of cool. You can actually see where he probably stood.
That's nice
because it's here, and there's just like this little outcropping and just enough room for somebody to stand and go.
Cool.
So that was really neat. And that's still visible. That's still there today. They've got it covered with glass for obvious reasons. They don't want any vandalization. They don't want erosion happening.
Right.
But so after that, what did we do?
Did you get into a hotel?
Yeah. After that, we went down, stayed in a hotel in Livingston. Great place. Next morning, we got up and we did Yellowstone. We started. It was elk.
How many days in Yellowstone? 2?
2. And it was amazing.
Nice.
The first day was rainy. The second day was all of the rain. Like
all of it?
All of the rain. That's where it all was.
Okay.
It was raining on the second day. First day, we saw a lot. But you know what? Even that second day, even though we were miserably wet, we still saw a lot of beautiful things. It's still beautiful in that.
Are there geysers in that park?
There are tons of geysers.
Did you go see them?
We couldn't see the big one. We couldn't see Old Faithful because of the rain.
Okay.
We literally would have had to, even in the rain, it is still one of the most busiest places in the national park system. Even with the amount of rain it was, the parking lot was still full. We were literally, according to the GPS, like the walk, it was about a half mile just to walk to get to see it.
Oh, wow.
And we would have had to stay parked where we were and just walked. It's crazy.
Were you adverse to walking?
No, but we had actually, here's what happened. We had actually already gotten to the point of where we were like wet and chilling.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were to the point of almost getting pneumonia.
Oh, damn.
Because it's a lot colder up there.
Sure.
And the water is even colder than the air.
Sure.
And we were soaked. If it had been sunny, we would have been out there because we weren't going to drive all that way and not see it. But the weather had the weather had other things in mind.
Yeah.
But we saw so many other things, though.
All right.
You know, the wildlife is incredible. We have a buffalo walking up the road.
Yeah, that was
right
my favorite video. I was like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
So rapid firing through this. So how many more sites? Anything cool? Anything notable?
After that, we drove to Craters of the Moon, which is in Ohio, which is in Idaho, and that was interesting. That because basically the same caldera that Yellowstone is on top of is what Craters of the Moon used to be. So one day, allegedly, you know, assuming that it keeps moving, one day we won't be here. Don't worry, it's not going to happen.
Oh no, yeah, no, I know. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, geologists are like, no, that's a stupid internet rumor. But we're fine.
But the actual caldera that Yellowstone sits on has moved geographically.
Oh,
it used to sit over here, and now it's moved to Craters of the Moon.
Sick.
Where basically it melted everything and kind of had, you know, so you're walking on top of a former active volcano, and that's moved its way through Idaho, Wyoming, until it, you know, up through Montana, Wyoming, where it currently sits now.
Man.
And so that's the active volcano.
The Yellowstone super volcano.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that used to be where Craters of the Moon is now. So one day Yellowstone will look like Craters of the Moon, which is really incredible. Now, on the way out, I think you'll find this interesting. On the way out to Craters of the Moon, we're driving along just the high deserts. Just, you know, it's out there. Just these long straight roads. And out in the very, very, very distance, clear day, because the weather was great the days that we weren't in Yellowstone. I'm not complaining though. No, that's not a complaint. This is the way it was. Out in the very far distance, this is really interesting. There's this weird complex, and it's not a factory. It's not anything. It's just this big building sitting out in the middle of nowhere, 20 some odd miles away. No roads to get there from here. You know what I mean? Can't get there from here, as they say in Maine, right?
Area 59.
That's exactly the joke I made. I said Area 52. And I said, look, if I was going to hide something government, that's where I'd hide it. Like, that's where I'd hide. Now, I drive through a town called Arco, Idaho. You ever heard of that?
No.
This connects to our grilling history episode that we did a little bit.
Oh.
Atomic history.
Okay.
It was the first town that was ever powered by atomic power.
Really?
This is the famousness, and this is when I say town. Boy, I'm using that term loosely.
Sure.
There's like, you know, there's this town that
right.
was powered by atomic power. It was like they were trying to use it for peacetime stuff. That was pretty cool. But guess what it said on the sign?
What's that?
It said it was powered by about 20 some odd miles away to the southeast. It was powered. I was like, I told the boys, I was like,
so that's the atomic
that's
plant.
probably to the former atomic plant that they used to do that. I just have a feeling. I have no idea. That's just my guess based upon geographically where they said it was. So after that, we started our turn back home. We visited the Lincoln monument along I-80, basically dedicated to the Lincoln Highway, which is U.S. Route 30, which runs not too far from where we sit now through Pennsylvania all the way out.
Yep.
And right now it kind of adjoins a lot to I-80, at least in Wyoming. That's pretty cool. They have a big Lincoln statue out there that overlooks the interstate.
Cool.
Saw that. We went to the original Cabela's, which is pretty cool. For anybody who likes, who
dresses like you,
dresses like me. That's a dresses like Jebediah.
If you're Jebediah, unironically,
if you're unironically this character, then that's you.
Right.
Anyway, we stopped at the there's some place. Oh yeah, the Iowa 80 truck stop, the largest truck stop in the world,
the most famous truck stop.
I used to frequent that when I was a kid. Brought the kids there. And then we just got home as fast as we could.
Yeah, you came in hot. I remember.
Yeah, you
were sounding exhausted. I either talked to you on the phone or was texting you when you were around Western Maryland, and I just sent you one of those casual like, "Hey, when you're up and about, give me a call." And you, as always, just immediately panicked, like, "What's up?" It's called me the moment you like opened your eyes.
Is grilling history canceled?
You sound like a zombie.
Yeah, we laid down a lot.
You've been
of
back
miles.
for less than 48 hours.
Yeah, less than 48 hours.
As of the time of this recording.
Yeah.
Right.
This is
like I can tell you smell like. I'm just kidding.
Thanks. That's part of the character. I rubbed it all over me.
It's called authentic.
Yes, it's cow crap.
It's authenticity.
It's authenticity for the character.
Very cool, man. Well, I was happy for you to take this trip. The trips that I went on this summer were much smaller, very meaningful for me and my family. Mostly it was just a summer vacation to the beach, but I got to do some exploring of pirate history again.
Nice.
And a lot of the Civil War stuff that occurred on that island. And I really got to dive into the 18th century history of Hatteras Island and Ocracoke Island. So it was really fun to kind of navigate things. And I would say the biggest takeaways from my trip, most I guess, revealing thing to me was just the lack of residency, the lack of settlement on the European settlement on the island during the French and Indian War period. There's somewhere between 10 and 15 homes total between Nag's Head and Cape Hatteras. When you consider the juxtaposition of its tourist life now, where millions of people cycle through there over the summer, we're talking less than 20 homes in this massive range on the island. So I learned that was kind of cool.
Right.
So it was a really good summer. So, and with summer winding down, the kids are heading back to school. Even some of us adults are heading back to school. We figured now would be a good time to talk about some of the reasons that we study history and some back to school tips. And so for our back to school tips, we're actually going to toss it to the angelic voice of the History Things podcast, my wife, Danielle, who is a teacher, who wants to share some really cool tips for yourselves going back to school.
Hey everyone, it's Danielle from the History Things podcast. You might recognize me as the voice at the beginning of every episode. What you might not realize though is that I, outside of the podcast, am a teacher. And as we are getting back into the swing of things and back into the school routines, I wanted to share a few healthy habits for back to school success. So one, it's starting a routine. What does that look like for you in your household? Everyone's going to be different, but routine is going to be so important. Consistency is key for anyone, anywhere. So what does bedtime look like? Is it a 9 o'clock bedtime? Is it a 7 o'clock bedtime? Whatever that looks like in your household, keep that consistent every night. Brush those teeth, read a book, get in bed, have a good night's sleep. Sleep is so important for the brain development and continuing throughout and helping learn. Socialize. Set up those play dates with those friends from class. Help create those connections between your child and their peers. Create some connections between you and their parents. Really help build that community and those relationships together. The more you're involved, the easier it's going to be for you and your children. Organization is a key healthy habit. Now, my husband and I, we just got a big calendar in our kitchen, and it really helps us keep track and stay organized with all of the podcast recordings and all those extracurricular activities, those staff meetings that come up once a month. That calendar is so important for us and really helps us stay organized. It also helps us keep track of what we're going to have for dinner. That dreaded question, what is for dinner tonight? It's the worst. You don't want to hear that after the end of a long day. So organize your week, organize your meals, organize your child's bedroom to make it a little bit more efficient in the morning. Organization is going to be so key. That and consistency back to the routine is really going to be so important. Communicating. So talk with your children about what it's like to go back to school, what happened at school, problem solve some of those scenarios that might be happening at school, communicating with the teachers, communicating with the principal or the directors of your child's school, communicating with the parents in the classroom, making sure that you're providing that positive perspective for your children. It's really going to want them to come back and talk to you about what's happening in school, and that's really important. Goes back to socializing. The fifth healthy habit is eating healthy. So this kind of goes hand in hand with organizing. So starting the day with a good breakfast, packing those healthy snacks, having a healthy lunch. Those are going to be so important to really keep the fuel going throughout the full day. And just goes back to organizing and creating that routine. And lastly, connect with the school, get involved, join the PTA, set those play dates, meet with the teachers, whatever you need to do to be involved in the school, it's going to be really helpful. The more you're connected in the school, the more you're going to know about the school, and the more you can be involved in the school and in your child's day-to-day. So those are some of my healthy habits, some of my suggestions for you. Keep that routine, socialize, organize, communicate, eat healthy, connect with the school. If you do those small things, you're really going to have a successful school year. Wishing you the best. Have a great one.
Parker, spooky season is right around the corner, man.
Here it is.
With summer officially being over, school being started, the weather turning to a chill in the mornings and evenings, we're starting to move into one of our favorite times of year.
I understand it's hat weather.
It is hat weather, and especially when you wear it over your headphones. Jebacletus? You almost remind me of Will Ferrell's SNL character, the old-timey prospector, when you do that. If you haven't seen that, that's one of the best. We can't use an SNL clip. We tried to use one, and they said no. So, but spooky season's exciting. So we have our Halloween special we're going to do this year is going to focus for the first time on definitely a historical event. What you make out of it is going to be up for you to decide. Because it is one of the most controversial historical events of the last 80 to 100 years. We're going to be focusing on the alleged crash of a UFO in the New Mexico desert of 1947, the Roswell crash. Now, the reason we're covering this is because no matter how you feel about it, at this point in time, it has become a historical event. Whether it is a balloon from Project Mogul or a crash flying saucer, something definitely happened in the Arizona desert about 80 years ago. And at this point in time, it has grown into a fascination with extraterrestrials, UFOs, conspiracies, government sort of black projects, things like that. And it's now just a part of the fabric, not even just of the United States, but of the world at this point. It is a global phenomena. Roswell becoming synonymous with the word UFO. If you say Roswell, I guarantee you the first thing you're thinking of is spaceships or aliens, things like that. So we're going to come to that story. And to be kind of clear on the heads up, we're going to be as objective as we can be about it, because what we want to do is legitimately talk about this experience, because it was a lot of different things for a lot of different people. For us today, and super dorks like me who love aliens, you know, I can be like, oh my God, Roswell, about a bunch of things. But this was a scary time and a scary experience for a lot of people. It was a confusing time and experience. And as we navigate that story, we'll want to make sure we're respectful of that. But I'm really excited. So for this year's Halloween, we're coming to Roswell, New Mexico.
Love it.
To tell the story about a really important thing that happened at the dawn of the atomic age. And then we're also going to do something unique. Exclusively on YouTube, we're going to do a sort of campfire ghost stories. We're going to do the History Things Podcast Ghost Story series, where we're going to do a weekly run featuring some of our favorite historical ghost stories from basically all of time and space. I know what I'm going to be talking about can range from mysterious green eyes to ghost ships of sorts, and I know that you have some picked out. Parker, do you want to do any sharing, or oh no, here they come.
Heard that information is classified.
Jebediah, where did you come from?
I'm not Jebediah.
Are you Agent Jebediah?
Agent P.
Agent P? Oh my God. Just neuralized me.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So look for those beginning sort of around the end of September. So we've got our cool campfire ghost stories coming up. We've got our Halloween episode coming up, and then we shift into the holiday season and some absolute heavyweight episodes coming out. We're talking to Jack Hatfield about the Hatfield and McCoys. We're talking to Drew Rittenhouse. We're getting into the satanic panic of the Dungeon Dragons and all that era. We're going to kind of talk about the madness that surrounded that really cool game in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And then we're going to talk to Ken Gavin. We're going to spend some time at Valley Forge, Winter Encampment.
So excited.
Yep, I've started the edits on those, and I can tell you what, man, I'm excited for you, our listeners, to hear those. So this summer wind down has not been one that usually when we wind down summer, I get very sad, where I'm like, because while I am a winter person, I do love beach vibes. And if you've been watching this show, you've probably guessed I love beach vibes. But this year, we've got so much fun stuff planned that I'm ready to let beach vibes go and lean into spooky vibes immediately. So lots of cool stuff coming up. Thanks for hanging out with us here this summer. It's been a lot of fun. Hope that you guys get yourselves back in your school routines and the the tips that we've shared with you have been helpful. If you guys have questions, reach out anytime you want. We love to be a part of your learning experiences as much as you guys are a part of our learning experiences. So if there's anything that we talk about here on this show, or if there's anything you're studying in your history classes that you just want to talk about, we'd love to talk about them with you. So reach out to us through email, historythingspodcast@gmail.com, or find us on our social medias by searching the History Things Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you like the show and you want to help it grow, and like you've been doing for nearly 7 years now, thank you so much. Continue to like, subscribe, and share. Continue to leave positive reviews and do 5-star ratings on your favorite podcast apps. But getting out of here for this summer, my co-host Parker Russell, I'm Pat McGuire. This has been the History Things Podcast saying we will catch you all later. Slán go fóill.